Right, this is the inside of the EPB. That's the motor. This is the original with the part number. Basically 3 screws. Removes the whole gearbox. You pull this over that way. This pops out of here and you unscrew it on a left-handed thread. You unscrew that from this and then you can release this. Then you have 4 screws that opens the gearbox, and then you have 2 screws that hold the motor, and then you turn it all back together. The idea is that this should be as close to the end as possible with this also, and to alter that position is by a number of turns. If you go too long, you lose the length, and it's not correct for when you put it onto the car. So this has actually been reassembled. I forgot to video it, but this is the part number. So this one's burnt out at the moment, and that's the new motor. I'm going to do a video of replacing the EPB module. This is the old one. So to get it into the car, you need to jack it up, put it on axle stands onto the chassis, and then you need to remove 4 bolts, 2 at the back here, and 2 long bolts, 24 socket on either side, so it won't fall because I've put a jack under the frame, and also I've not released both bolts completely, but it's also got a swing arm over there which is attached to the whole suspension, so you can't lose it, and it can't lose position, it can only drop down. So I've got a jack holding that up, because to get it in you have to get it into that gap there, but to get into that gap you need to take the wheel off. You take the wheel off and then remove that suspension arm, which we will do in a minute. Remove that suspension arm and then thread the motor through there to get it into position. So I release this, and that then allows access in that way to get the EPB into the gap up there. That's how I got it out. So I've lowered it down by that much, which has given us that much access. There is 4 nuts, 2 here and 2 at the far end, which I haven't put back in while I've been waiting for the module to come back. So gonna release these 2 bolts, take the tray out or to the side, so I can then mount the EPB module back onto those 4 pins, screw those back on, and then relock the 4 bolts down. I changed my mind. I took the bolts out and gave a lot more gap. Let's see if we can slot it in that way. So cable goes to here onto that lever. Is to go through this hole here, 2 nuts on the back over there, you can't see it at the moment. It goes round to a connection point over here and one over there, right, and with the little cutouts with bolts that need to go on there. And you can just see where the EPB is at the back. I need to secure it to the front 2 bolts, last in the back bolts, and then raise it back up. This has got the same connection over here, 2 points, 1, 2 over there, round through here and connects to here. So before I mount everything, I need to test it, because otherwise I'll be building everything for nothing. And this is supposed to go through this hole, and then there's a clip. So let's do that. Let's take the 2 nuts off of that, put this into the right position, and then we can test it. So using my top don, I have been able to go into, I normally always want to test things before I show it on camera because I don't want it to fail. So with the ignition on, Spring code has been detected. 2.2 anti-lock brake system. So now read fault code. Before I had a latching code and a motor code, but now that I've changed the motor and replaced it with the original module, that's all gone. In order to get it working, I had to clear fault code, and I actuated it on and off with the button, and that's why you need to have it connected to the brake. If you do not connect your brakes to the module, what will happen is it will outwind the motor and get locked up. It needs to have some kind of resistance. So at the moment, that's with the handbrake off. Foot on the brake, locked, and it's no longer moving. So now we need to rebuild. So I can put this arm back on here with this bolt and nut, raise the suspension back onto that. Again, because this arm is connected to the chassis, it just swings. So it will go back into the same position. But before that, I need to do bolt here. If you can see my hand, I can't see. Bolt here on both sides, bolt at the front. 4 bolts on the frame of the actual module, raise the suspension back up and lock it all down. So 1, 2, over there 3 and 4, plug connected, cables all run round. You've also got a circlip, not a circlip, like a split washer kind of flat thing to make sure you put in as well, which is here. That locks that in. So screw locks onto there, clip goes through here, goes into here, 2 nuts on that side, 2 bolts as we showed there, 2 bolts on the other side, and 4 bolts for the plate and 4 nuts for the module. And then now we just have to put this back on. I don't think I'm going to be able to set the camera up, to be honest, but you know, it's kind of standard. Just shove that back in there, tap that down, and then lock it up. Right, let's get this suspension back on the car. I mean, literally, it's just raising it back up and it go back into the right places. Considering it's on a swing arm and the swing arm hasn't moved, everything should go exactly where it should. Before we do that, I need to make sure if the cable's okay. So one bolt, one there, one of these, and the other side as well. Come here. Right. We've got our fan. Just had a shower. Bolt goes in here. What are you complaining about? I didn't ask you to come. Right, go inside. You're busy. So all back together, and everything is working 100%. We have ignition on, EPB on. Focus, 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 focus. Start her up. EPB light on, off. Handbrake off. Okay. The auto holder's disappeared, which was on earlier. And what else? EPB light is gone. Cruise control now works, because that also affects the system by having an EPB fault. Handbrake on, and releases during into reverse, in drive. Done. Yay, well done. Then that was 28 euros. Complete repair, 28 euros, and just a bit of time. Probably it's a lot more time if you try to leave the subframe on, and it takes a lot less time if you drop the subframe all the way down. And again, knowing that you've got the swing arms that can hold the subframe in the right position, it's safer, and it's going to always go back in the correct position. So yeah, I would say drop it onto the jack, drop it all the way down. You get all the clearance that you need. Take out the frame, undo all the bolts and whatnot, take it out, change the motor, and yeah, jobs are good in.